Hello. I'm trying not to be upset and disappointed because anytime something gets good is when I get frustrated and everything happens. So, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My live was just cut off a minute ago and we had good conversation. So, I'm now waiting for my guest to come back on. Hello, Miss Felicia. So, I'm waiting for people to come back on. Um, ah, so, anyway, I'm talking about all things divorce. And I really we were having a good hey unapologetic welcome back, girl. I'm so upset and disappointed because it was such a good, it was going so good. I don't know what is wrong. I know what's wrong, and I'm gonna talk about it. Hey, thank you for coming back, Demont. I'm gonna talk about it. I got a problem with these iPhones, really, because now I'm on my Android. I try to use my iPhone and give it a chance, but my Android is faithful. My Android, it has me taken care of. This right here, this thing right here, I'm disappointed in. I really am. So I'm waiting to see if Miss Ebony is going to come back. I hope so. I hope she sees the notification. I just inboxed her too. Let me see if I can. Maybe I can call her. Right. Say it again. The devil is a lie. Let me see if I can call her. Maybe she'll answer. I'm so upset. So disappointed. Okay, come on back on, girl. I'm so mad. All right. She coming back, y'all. Ugh, I'm so upset. So anyway, like you said, she come back on so we can finish this good conversation. I'm mad because the information that was on don't man, I'm just saying. It did me disrespectful. We was having such a good conversation and it kicked me out. I'm just really like kind of upset. Hey sis, welcome. So, like for real, here she come now. We gon' invite her. So tomorrow, I'm probably not gonna use my iPhone. I'm just saying. For real, seriously, this is just disrespectful. We were having such a great conversation. I thought it was her, maybe it was me, and it's the stupid, for real, seriously. So, anywho, yeah, go ahead and laugh because I'm upset. Wait, we had a good following of people that was on here conversing with us. Like, go ahead and text Ebony and Jonathan and tell them to get back on here and have this conversation with us so they could give us some content. Demont laughing at me. Demont will be on tomorrow night. I'm just saying.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
so upset because it was good. And the sad part is, I would have thought after they kicked me out, it would still give me the option of saving it so I can share that part. It just totally said, no, screw you. We're not doing this. We don't care nothing about what y'all talked about for the last 30, 40 minutes. No, we don't care at all. Just whatever. So
Mm.
I'm perturbed.
Okay, well,
Okay,
hey
sis.
people, look. Sis mad, but my name is Ebony Lashelle. By day, I'm an RN. By night, I am your spiritual, emotional, and physical doula. Like, I'm gonna help push you to purpose, okay? I've been married twice. I have two beautiful children. I have a child with each husband. Boop, boop. Um, they was cheaters. One of them was a narcissist. I left them. I sent them back to their mamas. Okay, that's it in a nutshell. Shahid, the enemy thought he had it, but he didn't. We want everything back.
Girl.
Okay,
Well,
so
thank you,
sis
sis.
ain't,
Look,
yeah,
thank you for the recap.
yeah, sis
So,
had asked me, did I get counseled? How I'm doing recap again, part two. I didn't get counseled the first time. I got counseled the second time. I counseled my daddy. He a pastor. He been pastoring like 30 something years. Yeah, because I'm 39 and fine. My daddy started pastoring when I was 5. So, yes, there you go. There you go. Ooh, child.
okay, so we was talking about, we was into the fact that you went on a date with somebody else and he didn't like your kid, or he was asking about your kid or something like
Girl,
that. So that was kind of a turnoff.
he was like, oh, you got to bring him everywhere with you? He got to go with us. I said, where we going? He can't go. Mm. Get on, put my baby right in that car. But you know what? We ain't talk. I ain't talking to him too much after that. He messed around He worked at the chicken plant. Chicken plant make pretty good money, but he happened to I think he got crazy because one day he seen one of my check stubs and he started stalking me after that. Girl, come on, we finna get ready. No, we ain't. I work at the health department, baby. It's not a whole lot of money in Alabama. That's where I was working at the time. But now, and then like he had introduced me, and I thought he was crazy. This was a red flag to me. I ran because we've been together like we didn't really
This is
together
the
together.
new guy. This the chicken guy
This
that you
the
got rid
chicken guy.
of, or the second husband?
Yeah, no chicken guy.
Okay.
So he had got me all around his sister and his auntie and uncle and stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, she's so pretty, hey." And then when I had broke up with him, his sister was like, "Why you do my brother like that? And you shouldn't have been coming around." I said, "Hey, I don't want to come around y'all. He brought me around. I didn't ask for that."
When is your birthday?
April the 10th, I am an Aries.
Okay.
So I was just like, I didn't. Cause first off, I don't bother nobody, so don't come for me unless I send for you. You don't bother me, ain't gonna bother you. But don't, like, and I know you love your brother, whatever. But I didn't ask your brother to bring me around y'all. I didn't want to meet y'all.
So how did you get back together with your second husband?
So I called him one day. I was like, "Hey, you know how you do that? Hey, big head." I was like, "Hey, oh, you an Aries too? Hey, what's up?" So yeah, no, and I called him back, but then I should have seen the red flag then because I think he was like so devastated when we broke up the first time. So he wasn't quite the same the second time. And I told someone, I was like, "Look, now I'm not finna prove my love to you. I said, love is a gift. You love me, I love you. We're gonna love each other. We're gonna be happy." But I planned our wedding. Like I planned it because I didn't have a wedding the first time. I just had like a reception. So it was. If anybody who's ever planned a wedding by yourself, that's kind of stressful.
It is.
So I snapped a little bit, and I'm a procrastinator, but I'm a low key perfectionist, so that don't really go together. Um,
But you know your fault, sis. That's okay. The Lord working
yeah.
on you.
So we got up, did some stuff, and so he said I snapped at him at wedding practice, and he got a. And this is the thing, like the Lord was trying to tell me because like up here had a panic attack as they were helping me get into my dress, and I should have called it off then. But again, we got all these folks here for this reception. Oh, let me back up. Let me digress because this is what you need to know this key part to it. During the time that he and I broke up, he started dating somebody else too, but she got pregnant.
Mm.
So while my first husband had, like I said, I was young, dumb. He had several children, but I ended up feeling like I was the babysitter a lot of times because the kids would be at
I'm
the house
sorry.
with me.
Wait, hold up, sis. Wait, you speedballing. You said your first husband had six children other than yours, or
No,
seven?
I said several children.
Oh, I thought you said seven. I mean, several is still a nice little number too, because you didn't
Yeah,
give a specific number, but it's not
yeah,
like you said seven.
one a
Okay.
few too many, but it was two of them in particular that I had all the time. Like one of them, which he actually still calls me mom. He will refer to me as mom. He was with me all the time, and I was pregnant. So, but he stayed up under me. Um, but like his mom would try to be calling. She was like, you can't go over there with Miss Ebony. Your dad ain't even there. And I'm like, girl, but I have that boy tomorrow. But but there were some other things that happened, and so I had said I didn't want to date anybody who had children younger than mine.
Mm.
So finding out that, and the other thing about it, it wouldn't have been such of a trigger because that did trigger me. Because I didn't find out the baby was his until 3 days before we were to get married. Because I had to force him to get a DNA test because he was saying he had told me that it was a possibility that the baby was his. By the time I ended up talking to the baby mama, what wasn't no possibility the baby was his. By the time I
Mm-hmm.
did some calculations, because I had a pregnancy wheel. So I can calculate date of conception. I used to could calculate it by hand and in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but had he been honest with me, um, and say, hey, I was, having relations with somebody else, um, and this is what happened. I could have handled that better because I had painted this picture in my mind that it was just going because he had children, but his children were like 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I could have he didn't give me the opportunity to really to make an informed decision. And
Right.
that's very much something I need you to do for me. Give me the opportunity to make an informed decision. Don't deceive me because that Ebony that you're gonna get from a deception is much different than the Ebony that you're gonna get from let me sit down and mull over and calculate and critical think that thing. Hi. Um,
Hey, Yolanda.
but yeah, so because you needed that little bit. So
Mhm.
this is the other thing. I'm gonna be transparent like my sister be. So found out the baby was his 3 days before the wedding. We got married. Then I found out I was pregnant.
Mm.
So now we got a new baby over here, baby that's 9 months old. I'm pregnant. I had just started a new job. And again, I had started trying to work on getting a master's degree. And this time I was working on a double master's degree. So I was utterly devastated. Devastated. And I told him, I was like, hey, he was like, well, your mom and daddy gonna be happy. I was like, my mama gonna be happy. I said, my dad ain't. He gonna be mad because he knew I was trying to get this little degree. So we went and we told my daddy. I was right. He was mad. He was mad about that thing. And then later he was just like, no, baby, I wasn't mad. I was just trying to. You was doing so good in school. I was like, yeah, I know, Dad. And so the disconnect that came from, and I tell anybody now, I was mad. I stayed mad the entire 9 months, and I stayed mad for 2 weeks after
Mm.
because, and part of that was looking back on that, just reflecting, as I was afraid because I had three doctors tell me after I had my son not to ever get pregnant again.
Oh, wow.
So it was hard for me to enjoy the pregnancy because I stayed in fear the whole time. While I was, good sport. And I was like, hey, yeah, because I had to see a specialist. They had put me on blood thinner shots because I had to have an emergency C-section with my son.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's hard to be excited when you're living in fear.
Understood. Understood.
And after that, which just that whole situation caused a drastic breakdown in communication between us, my husband and I, and he started cheating.
Mm.
And then when I confronted him about it, I'm a crazy one. Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm seeing things. I'm just hormonal. And after I gave birth, I was like, hey, I know I was going through some things. I apologize for any way that I may have pushed you away. Let us work on it. We now have three children, 5 and under. Let's make this thing work. Because keep in mind, I had a 5-year-old. I brought a 5-year-old. He had a 9-month-old, and now we had a newborn, which was very strenuous on communication, intimacy, and finances.
Mm.
And if you can't work through those things, it just don't work.
So with the 9-month-old, were you able to actually, because I mean, that's got to be difficult because I'm quite sure one, the girl probably felt some kind of way because he wasn't with her anymore.
Uh-huh.
Two, not actually being allowed to spend time with a 9-month, like ain't no new mama gonna let their child go nowhere. It's usually not with a new wife unless they just don't want to be bothered.
I had the baby every other weekend.
Oh wow. The
Even
mother
before
just want their freedom.
but
I guess but then there are those mothers out there, and this is no knock to the baby mamas, but there are some difficult baby mamas out there that just won't. want to make the father suffer for no apparent reason too. So that could have been a
Yeah.
catch-22, thinking that she was gonna bring more discord to the family if she forced you all to take care of the
I
kid.
mean, but she did that worked, but it wasn't. Um, it only works, and that only is workable if the father allows that to happen. Because one thing about me is like, I got my stepmama license, so I know how to work with baby mamas. I know,
There's a license for stepmothers.
yeah, I got a stepmama license, which is case in point why from my first marriage, that
Mm-hmm.
son that I always had around me still called me mama to this day. When he needed something, I had told his mom, I was like, hey, you know, I know that's your baby daddy, that's my husband, but it is what it is. When you need something, you call me. We gonna make it happen. We would meet at the store and split up a list and be like, all right, I got this, you got that. We
Mm.
bought school supplies, we bought school clothes. I mean, I had been actually divorced from his dad over 10 years by the time he went to the prom. Me and his mama, he went to 3 proms. Me and his mama paid for 2 of his tuxes. I know how to communicate if you want to communicate with me. So, and he would tell her one thing, and he would come back and tell me something else because we've had, small conversations since he and my second husband, he and I got divorced. But no, so he helped to cause the discord.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we in this marriage, and now you had the financial issues, you got the infidelity, you got the lack of communication. When do you say you pretty much have had enough? Because what I know about narcissists is this: they not necessarily gonna walk away. They not
Oh
gonna file
no.
for divorce. Because they still
Mm-mm.
think that they control, and they think they can have their cake and eat it too, and they want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to manipulate and have this and make sure they have this stability at home while they still go out and do whatever they want in the street. So when did Ebony decide that Ebony was
So
sick and tired of being sick and tired?
let's walk through. We got married 2013. He was um da, 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 da. So Hannah like 6 months old, 6 to 8. I want a divorce. Da, 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 da. And I was like, you know what, we're not getting divorced. We're gonna make this work. We just got married. Da, 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 da. And I said, well, you know what, you can leave if you want to, but what you're gonna do is you're going to give me half of the rent. You're going to give me half of all of these bills. Girl, I can't afford that. That's not my problem. Because I always tell him he gifted me with him. You gifted me with this baby. You finna help take care of her. So there's your one. We decided to go through some things, trying to do little things, little counseling things, work out things. And so I also had several set of friends who were going through similar issues, but my friends listened. So I would say we did what is that? Fireproof. You
Mm.
remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We sit down and we watched Fireproof. It came with booklets. I had them doing it, we were doing it. Well, it worked for them. Um we would talk through stuff, we would have conversations. If I happened to be their mediator. So when they were, because while I love you, I don't care. Like if I'm your friend, I'm your sis, I don't really care who right in the sis. You can be you my sis, but if you wrong,
You wrong.
you just wrong. You wrong, and I'm not going. I'm not going with that. So they were able to. Well, his thing was, well, you can go now, you can help somebody else, you all, but you can't work on our problems we got. I said, well, one of the things I would say, well, as you minister to somebody else, you minister to yourself a lot of times. So all this stuff that I'm sitting here that I'm going over trying to help with them, I turn around and try to use with us. I said, but you're not receptive. So we did that a long time. So fast forward, he lost his job. Me being the good wife held it down. He didn't have a job like 4 months. Didn't
Mm.
have to worry about it. I held it. But there were things like we moved from one place to the next. He would get mad. He left me with 2 children and a house to pack up. We had to hire somebody to pack up. But you know what? I still pressed. I prayed. I pressed and I prayed. Um, I left the job that I was at because it was highly stressful and it was causing issues with the marriage. So I found somewhere else to go. Um, I had worked there before, but when I came back this time, I got a promotion. So, but he was always fussing because he had already at this time been hollering divorce. So when I left that new job and I started an old job and I started the new job, I changed my checking account. He got mad by that. I don't even know how much money you making. I said, well, you told me you wanted a divorce, right? So 2017. Before that now, just a little background. When he was out of a job, he was depressed. So I had 5 kids, had got a pretty good grip, refund on taxes. Took him on a shopping spree. Baby, just get what you want. Look, help you feel better. He in turn told my daddy that she always spending all this money. I don't never know what she's spending it on. She'll be lying. So 2017, I filed for divorce. Filed for non-contested divorce. The whole year was, I'm gonna get my lawyer to look at it. I'm gonna get my lawyer to look at it. I'm gonna get my lawyer to look at it. Never got his lawyer to look at it. 2018, I filed again for a contested divorce, and he dragged it out for several years. Now, 2018, I changed the locks. So in 2017, because one day we were having an argument, and he said, I want a divorce, and I said, okay. And he just got dead quiet. And at that point, I emotionally and spiritually shut down towards him. But at that point is when God really started working on me. I read a book called Fervent by Priscilla Shirer, and that prepared me for the battle that I incurred. Kim was supposed to read it with me. That didn't work. Nobody ever tried to read no book with my sister. She do not stay up with you. But I sped through the book, but it was because God was preparing me. It was like literally like putting on armor, and that book broke me down. But 2017 is when I decided I was finished, and
So
we went back and forth a lot.
How long did it take for the divorce to be final?
A long time. A long time.
So when
Much
was
longer
your
than it
divorce
should have
final?
been. December 2020.
Wow. Okay, that is quite a long time. Okay,
But
so
we
you
were
just newly divorced.
legally.
Yeah,
I am
right.
newly
Yeah,
divorced.
okay.
Spiritually and emotionally, I've been divorced a long time.
Okay, so you pretty much, like you said, checked out. But I could tell by the stuff you did that the question about me asking, did you do everything that you possibly could in both marriages, or do you feel like you did everything you possibly could in both marriages to make them work? I know it's difficult when it comes to infidelity. However, being women, women are always more forgiving and more understanding and more, hey, beautiful, more receptive to trying to work on a marriage even after infidelity occurs. So now that you decided you're done, you checked out. Now your children have grown through this process. So with this divorce, how has it affected your children?
Sorry, my baby talking to me. Let me answer a question real quick. Big dog, yes, I would get married again. I believe in
Hey, quit
love.
answering my questions before I ask. We ain't there yet. Big dog, let me get my interview going. Man, thank you. No,
okay, what was the question, sir? What was the question, sir? I forgot.
I want to talk about the kids first.
Oh,
have the kids been triggered, or do they have any?
of course, they have like some issues. I felt really, I put up with a little bit more
It's
from
okay,
him
big
because I
dog.
felt
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
because I felt guilty from
Hmm.
taking two father figures away from my son. But I didn't grow up in a home where I saw people fight or yell or argue or like every time my mom cry. So what I was not going to do was make my children think that that was normal. I pick up all the sand on the beach with tweezers before I do that. I'm not a person who is going to argue with you a lot. I actually don't even like to repeat myself. I'm not a person who is going to curse at you. So if I curse at you and you pull that out of me, that doesn't leave us in a good space. So and he liked to argue in front of the kids, and that was a no go for me.
Hmm.
So, but my children are very in tune to me. So if I'm good, they great. If I'm smiling, they fine. Of course, she misses her dad. She talks to him. She got
How
a
old
cell
are they now?
phone. She's 7 and my son is 13.
Okay. Have you gotten
So
counseling for either one of them?
nope.
Have
We
you
sit
thought
down
about
and
getting
have open
counseling?
and honest. Honestly, no. We sit down and have open and honest conversations. I sit down with them. Ask them, how do you feel? Do you miss such and such? I'm sorry. Um, while your parent still loves you, me and your parent not being together has nothing to do with you. So, and my son is getting to the age where his daddy actually talks to him a little bit more, tells him, it really ain't his fault that, he did some things that wasn't nice. And now my daughter's father will never do that, but they don't really seem to be that affected.
Hmm.
And if I were to see anything, I would most definitely take them to counseling. I believe in that.
Okay, well, I figured you would, being that you're in the medical field already. I know you're probably an advocate for it. It was just a question I've been
Hmm.
asking all the parents that I've been talking to about their kids. So we get to Big Dog's question now because I was coming to it. So even after all of this, even after um, realizing that, that neither marriage was the right marriage for you, coming through on this side, and I see that you're very adamant about certain things, strong-willed. You don't seem like you've been damaged too much. One of my first questions before I guess I ask the question he wants to ask would be, are there things that still trigger you from both of your marriages that like are pretty much like deal breakers for you, other than the infidelity?
And like I knew that question was coming, so I literally have been thinking about that. I've gotten to the point now where things that bother me in the beginning, if I see something that doesn't quite line up with where I need it to go, I just back off. I'll tell somebody, hey, this not quite working for me, you know. Oh, and I have told someone before, hey, this what you do puts me in the mind frame of where I was before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good headspace for me. So I think that so if my second ex had always was like, if I tell you something, he would try to make it seem like I was trying to belittle him. But if I say you offended me, like this is an example, I would tell him, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this offended me, and he would try to turn it around as if I was attacking him. But if I tell you you
Gaslighting.
offended me, and I give you the example of what you did to offend me, how am I attacking you? So I was talking to this one guy, and he did that, and I was like, hey, this is not going to work for me. This puts me in a bad space, and I won't return there. I worked really hard to get my peace back. So when I see stuff come up now, I no longer wave off red flags. We gotta go and chop it down because I'm not going back there. Actually, my second divorce took me much lower than my first divorce did.
Mm. Well, I can
It took
imagine
me.
you dealt with it a little longer. You went into your second marriage with so much more, I don't want to say drama, but so many more challenges. That's a good word. You
Mm-hmm.
went in with so many more
Yeah.
challenges. The fact being that you find out 3 days before you're about to say I do that there's going to be a child that's now going to
Yeah.
be a part of your family, and you still
Remember.
decide to get married. Even having anxiety, like you said, putting on your dress when you felt like that was a sign, you decide to go through with it. And then, like I say, going through the motions of, knowing that your husband is a habitual cheater, knowing that they now have narcissistic tendencies and want to control everything, and then make you feel like you're nothing. And then because you're a woman of faith, because well, thank you for staying with us. I'm gonna ask the question right quick because you okay, so I'm gonna go back to that point in a minute. No problem. Okay, we're gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna ask the question. So he wants to know, which is what I was gonna ask. Even after all of this, everything that you've been through, um, you sound like you've been dating, which is perfectly fine. We all want adult companionship. That makes sense. But would you consider marrying again?
Yes. Yes.
Do you want to be married again?
Yes, I do. I am most definitely somebody's wife. The issues, the trauma and pain that I received from my first marriage was totally self-inflicted, and I sit in that because I should have known better. Um, I started dealing with that actually after my second marriage, when the layers, I actually started to allow myself to feel the pain, to feel any hurt, embarrassment, shame, anger, and the layers just started peeling back. And I just kind of sat deeper and deeper in it until I got clean, and God started making me whole. Um, Marriage is beautiful when it is done correctly. When you have someone who wants to be your partner and not your dictator, when you have someone who wants to work at it with you, who wants to communicate, it's very much a partnership. I like to tell people that we are supposed to be two whole puzzle pieces that fit together. It's a partnership, and yes, I would most definitely get married again. There are, a couple of things that, I most definitely can't budge on. Um, like I need him, I'm a church girl. We gotta go to church. You know, my dad is a retired pastor. Like I gotta know that you can cover me spiritually. When I think of a provider, it's just not totally wholly financial. Like if I don't contribute to your piece, and you don't contribute to mine, then you can't provide anything for me. I need you to, be my confidant, my friend. I need your penny to match mine. I need to be able to make contact with you across the room, and we bust out laughing because you already know what I'm talking about. Like that's what provision and love looks like for me. So I would
Okay,
most
so
definitely get married again.
the person who said he gotta go to work said he's never been married before because nobody seems to care about others, and he's an older person. You know what? I will say this. I don't know if you're a man of faith or not. Um, However, I believe that if your desire really is to be married, that God will answer those prayers. But again, it's work, and maybe you just haven't connected with the right female yet. It And I don't know why you didn't meet the right person in your younger years. You maybe in your younger years you was doing your thing, so you understood it wasn't time for you to get married. Um, I don't know if I mean it's a lot of things that, because I don't know you personally, I would just be throwing darts out there. I would probably have to have a month where I talk to single men who have been kind of jilted towards the idea of marriage for whatever reason.
He said he
You
love
love and
and
believe
believe
God wants you
God
to. Well,
wanted
okay, at
me.
least you believe it. Then I would just tell you, just stay prayerful. I don't think it's too late for you. I think that everything, especially when we're people of faith, everything is done in God's timing. And maybe for whatever reason, believe it or not, you dodged a bullet
A
by not just
baby,
marrying somebody else. But what I
I done
also have to
dodged a
tell you
couple
is,
of bullets.
even even though you say you don't have patience for BS, I get it. But I'll tell you, I think this is your first time being on here, so you might want to go back and watch a couple of my lives. One of the things that I say all the time is, sometimes we, especially people of faith, we don't want to extend the same grace that God gives us. And I say that meaning, um, we're not perfect people. Nobody's going to be perfect, but what you're trying to do is meet somebody that's imperfect as you. Kim stupid. Meet
Kim
somebody that
single too.
um meet somebody that's as imperfect as you are and try to build the perfect relationship, knowing that it's
Yeah.
never going to be perfect. But if you strive towards perfection and understand that communication is the key, and to make sure that you are able to communicate about everything, not take everything so personal, understand that we're going to be ever changing, ever evolving people with two different personalities, with two different opinions. And I'm not trying to force my opinion on you, and vice versa. When we don't agree, we agree to disagree, but learn to respect each other in our disagreement. I don't think that it's impossible. And I just really feel that a lot of times when people feel that way, that strongly about the whole BS thing, and um, just not really like opening up like that, I think it's because you're looking for perfection and there is no perfect person. You know,
No.
I fall short all the time. If we were perfect people, we would still be in the Garden of Eden. Satan would have came back, it wouldn't have
Sure.
came back as the form of a snake, and we still be walking around with no clothes on, looking at the trees, being wonderful people, not having to worry about the crap that's going on in everyday life. But that's not the world we live in. So
Mm-mm.
I encourage you to continue to work on self. And while you working on self and what you like, I want you to just be praying that God sends her your way. And when you see her, even though she's not perfect, you'll understand that she's the one for you, and you'll be willing to walk it out, because life is too short. And if you really want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, walk in the end of your life with someone, that's the only thing. That's Renee 1 and 2, because I think I did. If Jonathan's on here, he know I did 1 and 1 already. So we're gonna say that's Renee 1 and 2. Um, so yeah, I'm excited, Kim, because you feel the same way I feel. Now, mind you, I've had difficulty. I've dated. I won't even say I dated. Yeah, I dated. I had a couple people that I had to kick to the curb because they showed narcissistic tendencies, and I tried to give them a chance, thinking it was just me being over protective because of the stuff I had been through, being a domestic abuse survivor, being gunned down in front of my home and almost losing my life, I believe, even though it was not proven, at the hands of my ex-husband. So I just really feel, thank you for following, follow you back, sweetheart. Um, I just really feel that I got so many like triggers for real. And they're not just marriage triggers, they're just life triggers. Because, for me, for a long period of time, let's just be real, I didn't date at first because every African American man was suspect, because I was gunned down by an African American man. And being gunned down by African American men that I did not know, that I had never seen before, didn't know him from Adam, I would walk down the street and African American men will startle me. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I don't know because if I don't know a person came and I believe that you were sent to assassinate me, I don't know if you might be somebody else too. And then now in my mind, well, now that first one didn't work, where you just sent somebody out to take my life, what if you get somebody to act like they're interested in me, and then I let them in and we start dating, and then they kill me? So now I'm like, I'm on 500 all the time. So then I try to say, well, maybe I'll just go back and date people that I know, that I may have been attracted to before, or maybe we missed each other. And now, not saying that these people weren't good, but they weren't good for me, and there was a reason why we probably didn't date before. And now we're just like passing ships. And then I get into a relationship where I think it's the one, and I'm not, I'm not, I'm not perfect. And because we put each other up on pedestals, um, and I fell short, now it's being held against me. Um, because I'm not perfect. So that's why I go through this thing now where, I tell people all the time, You can love somebody all day long, but if they don't understand that you're not perfect, when they put you up on pedestals or they put expectations on you and you fail to meet that expectation for whatever reason, it could be a minor thing, but you feel they looking at you cross-eyed and crazy, and now they want to just throw the towel in and not work at it. You can't do that when you're trying to build something with somebody. And I'm too old and too late. For me, I get what the young man was saying, Jamal was saying, because I'm 50 years old. And now I'm setting my ways for so many things. Like even meeting somebody, there are some things that still trigger me because it may remind me of my ex-husband. And even though I have to remember, some of the things were narcissistic tendencies, but some things are just men things, meaning that there are some things that we do as women that women are just gonna do, and there are some things that men are gonna do that men are gonna do, and we have to just give people like grace to be who they are in
Sis,
that sexual thing. However, um when we do too much and go over too much, for me, I'm just like I can't do it because there are certain things I'm just not gonna do. Like I don't want to pick up after you. I don't like picking up after myself sometimes, but I definitely don't want to pick up after you and me. You know what I'm saying? Um, you may like to come home and kick your feet up on the table, and I might not want your feet on the table. You may want to do laundry on Thursday, and I do laundry on Saturday. And even though they're small to some people, if I got a routine in my house because I've been doing this way, because I've been on my own, with the exception I have to move back in and take care of my dad, but I've been single or divorced or whatever title I put on myself and having my own place for 10 years. I stayed home for a full year because I was going through my divorce for a year and a half where I didn't have to. And then I've been out of my house, like I said, until recently, for 10 years.
so
10 years,
sis,
you get your
sis,
own routine. Yes, baby. You say what?
how flexible do you think you are? How well do you communicate inside of relationships?
I do now. And that's what I think a lot of people don't like, which is sad. Because now, I
That
mean, but
you
again,
communicate? I mean, like, are you communicating or are you fussing at them? Because you
I'm
sound a little
communicating. I'm
inflex.
fussing now. Look, I'm fussing now
Oh,
because I'm
okay.
agitated. No, I'm fussing now because I'm agitated. And I think I'm agitated because the last relationship that I was in, again, I wasn't given grace.
Hmm.
And that's why I'm so passionate about telling people you got to give people grace. There was a time, and I think too, like I said, there are times where we, as y'all, you laughing at me, Nikki. There are times too, like for instance, we as females, we may shut down if we don't understand. And maybe I'm talking about me. Let me talk about Renee. When I don't understand change that's going on in my life, or something's about to happen to me spiritually, and it's not revealed to me, I hate being in a place of the unknown. Okay,
Well, baby, that's
so
everyday life.
right, exactly. So when certain things happen, I feel change coming. I don't know what it is. I kind of shut down. However, I don't shut down on the relationship, meaning I'm still attentive, meaning I still take care of business. I want to date you. I want to spend time with you. I'm trying to make sure that you're taken care of or whatever have you. But because I don't know exactly how to communicate what I'm going through because I don't know what I'm going through. I can't put a finger on it. I can't put a title on it. I can't say whatever have you. So until I could figure it out, the best thing I could do is when somebody asks me, well, what's wrong? The common answer that most people say, nothing,
Well, why
nothing.
don't you say, why can't you honestly say, I'm not sure yet? Like, that's a more
Because I
honest
didn't
answer.
know, like going through, I'm now just being for real, because of this last situation, that's what I had to learn because again, I didn't know what I was going through and I felt like nothing was really wrong with me, even though the person felt like they knew something was wrong. So my answer was like,
Hmm.
nothing, nothing's wrong. Even though, like I said, I knew I was going through something internally and there were other hard circumstance that was going around that had nothing to
Hmm.
do with me per se, that person was going through. And when you try not to dump your stuff, when if you really love your partner unconditionally and
Hmm.
your partner is actually going through something, I'm somebody, and maybe I'm wrong in feeling this, and guys who are listening, if you come back, DM me and tell me I'm wrong. But if I feel like you're going through something, and I don't mean something small, I mean like something big, like something tragic. And I don't feel it's right for me to add to your grief or to your discomfort with things I'm not sure of.
Well, that means that you don't trust your partner.
No,
Yeah,
but again, like I
let me.
said, I didn't understand what I was going through.
Well, no, that's how it's gonna come off to them, because if they're supposed to be providers, and you're supposed to aid and help giving each other their piece, what it comes across as saying, well, I didn't trust you enough to give you this, even though I know you got this going on. And while that's not necessarily your intent, but that's how it's gonna come off. Because if they trust you to tell you stuff, even when they know your plate is full, you have to trust that they can clean off this little corner right here to put your stuff on too, to know, okay,
But
well,
they
this
really
all this
didn't,
going
and
on.
that's where the catch-22 comes in at. They really didn't.
Well, see, this right here, and while I know you're agitated with that while it don't feel like a blessing, it really was, because you need to find out sooner than later that that person can extend grace. So it doesn't feel good right now, but
Good
how
night,
would it have
Jamal. We'll
gone?
see you again.
Good night. I don't see no comments. But I mean, like, you gotta know, okay, well, they're not gonna give me any grace. Like, I'm giving them grace, but they're not extending the same courtesy. Like, that's super important to know early on.
It is. It's very important, but we'd have to talk offline.
Okay, girl. But ooh, child.
But so the question is, okay, so I guess we pretty much have covered all the questions I would ask, and there's some stuff that you gave that was good nuggets that I did not ask, which is awesome because you are an amazing interviewer. And I can't wait to interview you and Kim on Sunday. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. Well, actually, no, we're going to talk about it now because I'm interviewing you guys tomorrow. And today is
Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Duh.
What?
I got
What
to get my
time?
whole
10,
life
12?
together. Look, got to get my whole life together. So thank you all for
Cause
joining
I'm
us.
gonna be
Kelly,
super slayed tomorrow.
right, you going to be slaved tomorrow?
Slayed
Somebody
to the
said,
gods.
Kim said, I think she's saying if they're going through something major, she doesn't want to add her things on top of their already heavy situation. Exactly, sis. That's what I meant by that. But Ebony says she
Well,
don't care because
I
I should have
can't
been
see
able to
it,
tell
but
you.
yeah, there you go. That's it in a nutshell. Look here, you have to share.
That's that Aries. So, anywho, so and yes, Devon, if you're on here, I'm talking about you Aries people. Um, if you have give some good closing remarks, some good nuggets. I know you are an advocate for marriage. It's not like you're because you want to get married
I
again.
am.
You believe
I
in the
do.
institution of marriage. It's a blessing.
Hmm.
It just takes hard work. As I'm telling everybody, hey, collection, hey, it's my
I can't even
sister
see the
Kelly.
people no more. Hey,
So,
y'all. Hey,
so
family.
Kelly, thank you for joining us. So give them some good closing nuggets, and then let the people know how you can get in touch with them, and then I'll tell them about the interview that I'm doing with you and Miss Kim tomorrow day.
Okay, so even with all the trauma and things that we go through, it is extremely important to own your truth. It took me a long time to get to that, to own my part of the breakdown and to really start working the healing so that I could be a better person for myself. Um, Forgiveness is key. Please remember that forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. You have to forgive yourself for what they did, for what you felt like you allowed, and forgive you. Just feel, deal, and heal. That's what we say all the time. Feel, deal, and heal. Feel,
That's
deal, and heal.
good.
That's really my thing. Me and Kim say that all the time. Kim said I steal it. Feel, deal, and heal. We got to. Um, because really, I mean, like, you can go from one situation to the next and never heal, and until you get to the root source, you got to get to the root source of what you think triggers you, so that you can clear that up. Y'all, go love yourself, love other people. Marriage is beautiful. Communication and comprehension is key. But yeah,
Amazing.
you
You are
cannot be triggered.
amazing.
Thank you. So are you, sis.
So thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come. I know we're
Yes,
doing
I'm
some things
excited.
behind the scenes, so let me just say this. Um, Thank you all for joining live, the second live, because the first one got cut off, but I think this one's going to be just as good. And thank God we're going to be able to save it. Praise the Lord. I thank you for joining me, Ebony. I thank for everybody joining the live and watching the replay. You all are amazing. Thank you all for commenting and asking questions and giving your input. Tomorrow night we'll be on with Mr. Demont Pope and probably his wife. Oh, you joining us again, Jonathan? Thank you for coming back. You late, but it's all right. Yeah, I'm with you now because we talking. I believe Miss Pope will probably be in the background with her husband. Mr. Demont Pope tomorrow is going to be exciting at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be talking about all things divorce for him. But tomorrow as well, not but, however, because I don't like to use the word but takes away everything you said before. So, however, tomorrow afternoon, 12 noon Central Standard Time, 1 p.m. for people on the East Coast, I'm interviewing the awesome Ebony Lashelle and Kim Walker as they well, no, they're not relaunching. We're talking about You, Me, and the Trinity. I don't know if it's an organization or if it's just a group of wonderful people.
It's a ministry. It's a ministry. You, Me, and the Trinity is our ministry. Okay. It started off as, I won't give too much because we'll talk about it tomorrow. But You, Me, and the Trinity is it's a ministry that was founded out of pain and despair and has branched into purpose pushing, and we will tell you all about that tomorrow.
Well, I would say I've been blessed to be a part of it because it's not a stiff neck or stiff type of ministry.
No,
we laugh, we have conversation. Nobody gets judged because, you know, if anybody really know me, some of my words can be kind of colorful. I think they add colors to my relationship. And when I see a conversation that just really take me left, I allow those words to come out because I tell people all the time, I believe if I had to liken myself to any disciple in the Bible, it would be Peter.
Peter, that Peter spirit rest upon you real heavy sometimes.
I cuss and I fight. I'm just saying. I cuss and I fight. So
you be fighting.
You don't want none of this smoke. None of it. You don't want none of this smoke. I'm here for it all. I'm here for all.
Well, baby, we take all the disciples. Come on in. You are welcome in this place. You are welcome in this house.
So I'm going to be honored. We're just going to have some real conversation tomorrow. They're going to explain what goes on, have you all join their Facebook group if you're interested, talk about the things that they have going on near their city. And hopefully within the next year, we'll be branching out further than just the wonderful state of Alabama. I'm proud to be a part of assisting them and putting some things on the map for them. That's why I offered to interview them so we can open up their platform, not just to them, but to some of my people. We are going to be on Facebook Live, though. I may try to do Instagram also, but I'm not sure how to figure that out yet. So I'll probably just do Facebook Live, but I'm going to put that flyer out tonight so you all know about it, along with, even though Demont is already promoting his, which is awesome, amazing. I so appreciate him. I'm going to put Demont's flyer up tonight as well. I need to reschedule Miss Kim real soon. But y'all know next week I'm going to be out the country.
Okay, girl. Well, hey, Demont, I'm going to have to pop in and out. I'm going to have to catch the replay because we have a live same time you have yours tomorrow night. So we won't be in on that.
She told me y'all going to miss it, but it's going to be all right because y'all only going to be on 15 minutes and y'all come back on I'm just joking. Kidding.
Say, well, I don't know if they're gonna work like this.
Okay, so you know what? I'm about to be real. So if y'all ain't paid attention, I've been trying to be real focused, but my niece let a fly in this house earlier, and I ain't been able to catch it, and it keeps flying around my head. It keeps flying around my head, and I've been wanting to just stop and just
get it because my Mexican food calling my name.
I'm gonna get it. So. Another thing, like I said, you all, I'm trying to recover coach. So those people who are following me, I have flyers up. I'll be reposting again soon. I will be speaking in right now, Alabama on the 10th of September. I'm also going to be speaking in Detroit, Michigan. Now, Detroit, Michigan, I need y'all support. I need people on here. I have virtual tickets and I have live tickets. If you're watching and you're from the Detroit area, I would love to see you in person. It is September 18th. I will be, if you go through any of my Facebook page or my IG page and find the flyer for September 18th, which I will be posting again soon, there is a link that you can go to buy your Eventbrite tickets. But if you cannot come to Detroit, I would love for you all to support me virtually. Those tickets are on sale as well too. If you have any questions or if you want me to send you the link personally just so you can look at it, just put it in my inbox. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. I'm really excited about that opportunity. And I'll have some other things going on. Level Up Atlanta is going to the great city of Atlanta on November 6th. And I am welcoming DeMont Pope to my stage for that as well. So you all who follow DeMont know that this man is about to bring it. He's going to bring it tomorrow night at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And he's going to be in Atlanta on my platform November 6th. So I'm excited. So with that being said, we've been on for a long time. Thank you again for coming on. Thank you for helping me out. Thank you for being who you are to me. I'm so glad that we are connected.
Yes.
I look forward to doing great things for you in the future. You are thebomb.com. Thank you everybody for joining the live and watching the replay, and share this with your family and friends. I think some of these, I know the conversations that we're having, talking about divorce and
Yes.
understanding that you're not damaged goods, that you still can thrive after divorce, and if marriage is what you desire, you can have it again. It just takes work and dedication and communication. So if those are the things you want, please watch these lives, get these nuggets, connect with some of these people. Always big on therapy. If you need therapy, always counsel, both natural and spiritual, especially if you're people of faith.
Yes.
I don't put my faith off on anybody because you need to know the Lord for yourself. However, he is somebody to know. And I promise you, he'll never let you down. So with that being said, shake your head, girl. Praise him.
Because he is somebody to know, baby. You said something then.
Girl, he is somebody to know. And I just want to thank you all again. You all have been amazing. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Facebook at 12 noon, but then back here at 7 p.m. tomorrow with Mr. DeMont Pope. You all have a good night. God bless you all. And thank you, Eb. Love you.
Yes, love you too. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.